Okay, everyone, I'm going to give you a little first look at Twinmotion with Unreal Engine. If you don't know, Epic Games has acquired or partnered somehow with Twinmotion, so now it's available in our Unreal Engine launcher, and it is just available for free right now until November of 2019. And I want to take a look at it and see what it means for kind of the ArcViz world and for Unreal Engine. So now when you go to your launcher, if you've gone to I think you have to go to the website first, and with your account, just click on Twinmotion there, and then it will be added to your launcher here, or maybe that doesn't even matter. But in my launcher now, I have a Twinmotion tab here. And if you don't have it installed yet, it'll say install. If you do, it'll say launch. Okay, so when I launch it, I'm just going to take an existing project that I have not adjusted at all, bring it into here for the first time. I have almost zero experience with Twinmotion, so we're going to check it out and see what we can do. So the first thing that comes up is the navigate easily in Twinmotion. So this is showing you how to explore in here, and it's basically I'm going to be using the WASD keys like Unreal Engine, same thing. The main difference I'm going to do here is, since I'm used to navigating with 3ds Max, I'm going to set it to 3ds Max, and you can see that you can set it up like anything. This is basically for the tumbling. So I'm going to set it up as a 3ds Max navigation. Okay, first thing you see is this weird background here that I can't imagine ever keeping in my scene, but there it is. And you can see there's just only a few buttons, and one of them, the biggest one, is import. So first I'm going to import a project. So the project that I'm bringing in was specifically made for an advanced UE4 course that I did, and it was made with V-Ray and 3ds Max and then translated via Datasmith to work in Unreal Engine. So it was specifically for that. All I did to it was convert it to a SketchUp file. And so I imagine some things won't work perfectly, but here is that file in SketchUp, and that can be imported directly into here. You also have the option of FBX and other things. In options, I don't think we want to collapse by material. I'm not sure what we want here. So I don't want everything collapsed by material though. So let's keep hierarchy. Fixed UV texture, that sounds good. Z axis is up. We want that. Unit conversion auto, that seems fine. Let's hit OK. Geometry coming in. Like I said, I am new to this. I haven't used this program or like Lumion hardly at all ever. And I think this and Lumion are the closest relationship to each other. I have been more on the high-end graphics with V-Ray and 3D Studio Max. That is my specialty. And I mean, I sometimes am guilty of kind of scoffing at these kind of programs because they're so simple and so basic. And it is true that you will find the limitations of this software if you try to do some really advanced stuff. And in 3ds Max and V-Ray, you really don't find those limitations. But even I cannot deny that there is some serious value in a program like this or like Lumion, where when architects are designing various different iterations just over and over and over, this is a very fast, simple way to visualize those iterations in a fairly realistic way and an extremely quick and simple way. Okay, so for architects, this is awesome when they don't need really high-end graphics. So that is the value of this. So I don't want to negate the place that this has in ArcViz, because it definitely has a place. So with Unreal Engine acquiring this, I think this is a big step in kind of integrating this stuff in to the mainstream of architectural visualization. So it's about time we check it out. Okay, so over here you saw that I brought my stuff in. I can navigate like this, tumble around like I would in 3ds Max. Okay, you can see my materials are not working. And again, that's probably because of some of my conversions. I imagine if I had everything originally in standard material in Max and then exported as an FBX, it might work. I don't know. I have not figured out the workflow for how to make everything work properly yet. Haven't even experimented with it. But the nice thing in here is that we have this huge material library right here. This part I have seen. So here we go. Materials, tons of materials. There's also libraries of objects, all sorts of things. So the things I want to look at is glass. You can just start applying glass. You can see how simple it is. Glass. Okay. We're missing some wood textures here. Obviously, We're missing a lot of textures. So let's see if we can find a leather. You can see how fast and intuitive this is and how amazingly simple. You guys know that simple sometimes is bad when you need to do something very complex. But simple can be extremely nice when you just need a simple look at what your stuff is going to look like. So I don't know what they have for like fabric or anything like that. Let's look. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, fabric. See if we have a nice pattern somewhere. Perfect. Okay, so let's get one of these modern patterns. That's pretty cool. Oh wait, this one's cooler. Yes, nice. Okay, this chair just didn't work for whatever reason. My guitar didn't work. Bummer. Okay, I'm getting rid of that. Guitar stand will be there by itself. Anyway, you can go through this library and find all sorts of materials, which is obviously a huge bonus. I mean, think of the amount of time that this is saving you right here. My goodness. Okay, so this is supposed to be a concrete floor in here. We need that. You can see I don't know anything about this software, but pretty instantly we're able to get some good results. Not sure what's going on here with the floor. That should be more like down a little bit. Yeah, like that. Up or down in the ground. Okay, so there's my concrete floor. Out here, this would be wood slats, probably. Okay, so I can go on and on with materials. Let's look at some other aspects of this after I put my wood slats on. Okay, cool. So immediately, we're having some pretty good results. And again, I've never worked in here before, so it's kind of amazing that you can have something up and running so quickly. If you've worked with Unreal Engine, obviously you have way more control, way more power, but there's no way it's as fast as this. I would say the results can be much better in Unreal than they can here, but again, the speed is not something to dismiss. It's very valuable, especially for architects. So let's put some pool water in. Let's see what we got going on there. Search for water. Put it in. Okay, so I did test this out once, and I don't like the way it looks. I feel that the movement and stuff is a little gimmicky, if you know what I mean. And so you can go into the material and you can change things. So like I want the opacity to be down, so it's kind of a dark blue. I want, I can actually change this like that, so you're seeing through to the bottom of the pool better, but the water itself isn't so kind of opaque and dark. In settings, okay, you can set the bump to almost nothing. Like that looks more like a pool to me. I don't want it going all crazy. You can change the scale, which looks like it's changing the scale of the waves, yeah. Okay, there's sounds associated with this stuff. Two-sided. Okay, so you can go into settings and make this stuff all work the way you want it to. Let's look at some of the other things that are in here. So we've got materials on. Like I'm not really liking the lighting so much, so let's look at that. Down here, we've looked in the whole library here, and we've got import geometry, we've got context, paths, camera line, measure. Not sure what all this stuff does. I imagine paths. Okay, so you can set up character paths, vehicle paths, bicycle paths, custom paths. That's cool. So it makes it really easy to kind of add life. Context I have checked out where you can go, this is cool, you can go to any part of a map and navigate to it, and it'll put a little box out here, and you can just say grab it, and it will import that part of the map, kind of like Google Maps, except even more simple. Like this geometry that it brings in will basically be massing models. But I brought in the local city where I'm from, and it brought in streets. It even brought in some little trees and some masses of the building. So that can be good if you're looking for basic context. Again, if you're looking for photoreal, it might cause some problems for you actually. But again, quick iterations. Okay, let's look what else they have in the library here. So we're in materials. If we go back, we can go to vegetation and landscape, lights, furniture. So the fact that I deleted that one furniture is fine because I can add some from a library. So let's say furniture, home, Living room, chairs. We'll find some funky lounge chair to pop in here. These ones are all boring, or just not the right kind of chairs. Get more like a lounge chair. That's a real beauty there. Okay, so we put it in the corner. Want some leather on that thing. Okay, but you get the point here. The library's got all sorts of stuff. Vehicles, lights. I messed with lights a little bit, so this is cool. You get all these different IES lights here. I had a hard time placing them, but that's probably because I am not familiar with the navigation in here. But like, you can put a light here for this lamp. F as focus still puts you right on it, just like Unreal Engine. You can see I'm not even close to where I need to be. Sure, someone in the comments will tell me how wrong I am and how I'm navigating in here. And granted, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so with the light, you can change the angle. It's nice. You can change the temperature. You can change the intensity. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Shadows on. That's cool. You can change it so that it changes with the day cycle. That's also nice. Okay, anyway, we can do all those kinds of things. We can get all our materials up and running. Let's see where we go from there. Okay, so we can mess with the lighting. It's a lot like Unreal Engine. The lighting overall for the scene is kind of interesting. So we can go to this tab here and say like, okay, vegetation. Brings up in the library, we have a tree we can bring in, right? We just place it over there. Let's bring in another one. I see with the tree, I think again, it's kind of cheesy. We can just turn off the wind altogether. Leave season to auto. If we change the season overall for the scene, then this will change seasons. The leaves will change colors, which is kind of handy. I mean, super, super easy once again. We can bring in all sorts of trees, grass and flowers, bushes. Just drag it in there. Okay, so you can see how, again, how intuitive and easy this is. You can scale this down like so. It's all just kind of drag and drop and simple. Okay, now what if we want to generate some images from this? Well, we can go to this tab here. And we can go to like image, create image. Okay, so all we do is kind of set up our location and just hit create image. And then from this, we can go to, you see it just puts a little thumbnail here. We can go to more and we can adjust the depth of field, which is cool. We can turn it on and just tell it how far away we want to focus. Somewhere right in there. And then we can change the radius of our blurring. It's all like this intuitive kind of drag and drop feel to it. Weather we can adjust, but kind of gimmicky again. You know, I like the full sunlight, a little bit of clouds maybe. This is the season. Put snow on it. You can see the tree changing. Okay. Background we can change. We can put a background back there. Visual effects. Okay, so we can put color gradients, put RGB, saturation. We can put basically like a filter or like an LUT on it. That's what this is doing. Cool. Now with weather, let's see, no. Camera settings. We can do the output size. We can change the field of view. We can turn on perspective correction, which is quite nice that they have that. Vignetting. So you can do a lot of the post-processing stuff that you would do in Unreal Engine, just right here. Okay, and then you could export an image, right? Another thing you can do that's interesting is go to video. Okay, let's take this. We've got our little clip here. Now, if we just pan across here, come inside the wall again, look this way, and then hit the plus button, boom. Now we have a new clip. Okay, if we hit play here, it will actually animate. Okay, and it looks like garbage right now, but it doesn't have to. That's because I haven't really massaged this thing, but just showing you some of the basics. We can get the lighting better. We can get everything better. I'm just trying to show you some of the different settings in here. So at the start, you can set it to a certain time of day. And then at the end, you can set it to another time of day, right? Okay, so we can spit out those animations quickly. Overall, I mean, this is getting us to a fairly good point without hardly doing anything and me having no knowledge whatsoever. So it kind of shows that you can quickly generate some things. I would want to adjust the lighting pretty significantly here. I think when I go into the image, to an actual image, and create some of the, and then go into the more, and then go into camera settings, lighting, you can, up the GI, you can change the ambient. So anyway, you can get a lot nicer looking actual still shots out of here. You can change the shadows so that they're higher quality. And you can go to more and do more settings. Okay, so you can fidget with this to get some pretty nice images to export out of here. One other nice thing that you can do is the BIM motion. Okay, so I have tried this out. If you create start, okay, you can start walking around your scene, and you can actually export this for other people to walk around too as an exe. And you can go straight into VR mode in that exe too. You can also change the quality and those kind of things of what you're seeing. So that is much like Enscape, if you've used that before, where you can just instantly export an exe of your model, walk around, go into VR, change the quality up and down, change the time settings, change all of those things. Okay, so here's the breakdown. Twinmotion, super, super easy. You get it in here, you can immediately start adjusting materials, textures, adding models, adding animations. I mean, very simple. I've never used this before. I've never brought this model in before. I just brought it in, and we have something that we can sort of work with in a matter of minutes. And I think the biggest thing is that you can immediately export it out so other people can navigate around with their desktop or in VR. Okay, and there's also a Revit link, which is huge, that can automatically update your Revit models. So you can see from an architect standpoint, this is a very big deal because they can take their Revit models, link it to here, go and assign some materials and some lighting, and within a matter of minutes, literally, they can be walking around their scene. And it's not like Enscape where they take what they get out of Revit. You can bring it here as an intermediate and add textures, add lighting, add models. So it's kind of a big deal in that sense that architects can walk around their designs almost immediately, and you have more control than you would with something like Enscape. That's where I think the biggest leaps are going to be made in architectural visualization. I just hope it doesn't cut down on the need for some of the higher quality renderings that you could produce with 3ds Max and V-Ray, because I think those are still the best option for creating highly, highly realistic and good looking renderings. But man, this is a good option for many architects, and they will, in my opinion, love this opportunity to be able to do this. So that's kind of my first look at Twinmotion. I think it's promising. I hope that it continues to develop in quality and in workflow issues where everything just becomes streamlined and easy, and you don't end up getting hung up on import-export issues or anything like that. If they can do that, and if they can develop the links between different softwares more and all those kind of things, I think it's promising because of its ease of use and its simplicity. It will be very appealing to a lot of people. So it's definitely worth checking out for you, especially since it's free right now. So if you're already an Unreal Engine user, I think it'll all come very naturally to you because it's way easier than that. And the controls can be set up to work exactly how you would expect them to. So check it out.